Probably the most common thing that people come to see me for is low energy. And after I ruled out a phosphorus deficiency, a vitamin B deficiency, I start looking at your adrenals and testosterone levels. Those will play into sleep, which is an important part of that, but you don't need to be old to have low T. You just need poor stress, poor sleep, and a nutrient deficiency. And that's a combo that most men are already living with. So let's try to figure out if low T is the number one thing that is driving that. So let's look at some symptoms and go through them really quickly. And of course, this is from the Urology Center of Iowa. The low T testosterone symptoms you shouldn't ignore. Number one is fatigue. So when we think about how tired we have to look at this. And I was just reminded the other day, I had a gentleman who was in the office and he energy levels are just in the toilet. And his number one complaint was, how do I do that? Well, he's taking a statin medication. Now, remember, statin medications crush your cholesterol, and 100% of your testosterone is made from cholesterol. So we had to talk about that. And actually, it's known to cause muscle damage, destroy CoQ10. So always examine maybe some medication you might be on that could be a huge driver. Look at the side effects. But also, it's not just going to be fatigue. It's going to be reduced sex drive. Erectile dysfunction could be a part of it. Depression or mood changes. I mean, testosterone is what makes you want to get up and do things, and take on the world. I mean, you really want to have testosterone, both men and women, but it can mess with your sleep. So sometimes when people are really tired, you think, okay, well, I'll help work on their sleep. It's because they're not sleeping enough. But if it's the result of low testosterone, you're going to get mediocre results going after the usual things for sleep. So you want to rule this out. Hair loss. We talk a lot on this channel about something called DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which creates hair loss. And that's because the testosterone down here is converting into that. And we want to find ways to slow that down. Loss of muscle mass. If you're working out and you just don't have the muscle mass, think about testosterone. Increase in body fat, especially in the belly area. Think about that. And it can also be bone mass reduction, infertility, and anemia. So before you run out there and just get a low T injection or a pellet, please remember that this is something that your body should be able to make. I know men well into their 70s who never had to take exogenous testosterone, and their testosterone levels are that of somebody in their 20s. Now, it all has to do with, of course, supporting that your body can make it, but more importantly, as we age, keeping it from converting. I just want to remind you, if you're dumping in a bunch of extra testosterone, whether injected or in a pellet, it is going to go one of two places. It just does not stay as testosterone. And if it's going down to dihydrotestosterone, that's when you start to see all the excess hair loss. But this is where we get concerned, is too much estrogen. That can be a real big problem. And there's this enzyme called aromatase that converts testosterone into estrogen. So if you are going to go out and do the pellets or the injections, or even trying to just maintain it higher naturally, it would benefit you to know about some things that will inhibit that conversion from it into estrogen, because you're going to want more testosterone and less estrogen as a man. Great article from NIH here that has all these foods that help inhibit this aromatase enzyme. And it blew me away when I pulled this up, because look at this. It's mushrooms, 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 baby button, cremini, portobello, white button, all of these mushrooms, tons of white button mushrooms that give you all of this. So mushrooms are going to be definitely a huge one to look into. You also have some almond mushrooms, never heard of those. Green onions, Spanish onions, so onions, ginger, celery is a big one, and asparagus officinalis, which is the one we most know about as one of my favorite things that I talk to about, even wood ear mushrooms. There are so many different compounds that are going to help you with this. I'll put the link to this article below so you can have that option. So just know that your energy crisis could be low testosterone, but that doesn't mean you have to necessarily go out and get testosterone. Look deeper into it, use some of these questions. And if you do decide to do it that way, really think about including in your daily ritual these things that are going to help slow down that aromatase enzyme so you can become estrogen dominant. But also just take it as a clue that your body's missing something. It's either missing a nutrient that's going to help you make the testosterone, could be cholesterol, or you have things that are making it over convert. And so we can find ways to kind of help that as well. So at the end of it all, this is information. Your body should be able to heal itself. And the last piece, and I'll get into this as the series goes on, is the strength of your endocrine system could be all the difference in that. And there are smart tissue ways of healing those endocrine organs like the hypothalamus and the pituitary and the adrenals and the gonads. All of those need to have specific nutrients to keep them alive. And as the series goes on, I'll do more about those. Any questions or comments specifically for you, though, go ahead and leave them below, and I'll make sure that I include some answers for you in the future. Have a great one.